Hello, Walsh College community. My name is Tom Petz. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Walsh College. I also created the Walsh Leadership Academy, and we had our first session just a couple of weeks ago with an amazing group of people, and we were really just excited about the energy, the enthusiasm for leadership on our campus. And we have a new session coming up, and I've brought Susie Siegel into the studio with us. She's the president of Walsh College and a great colleague. And she's going to be facilitating the next session, which is called
Take Control and Thrive.
All right.
Woo, look at this chair. I love this studio, by the way. It's so cool.
We love having you in here. So can you tell us a little bit about your background that led into the creation of this particular session?
Yes, absolutely, Tom. And thank you so very much. I'm so proud of WLA, Walsh Leadership Academy, and so proud of you and all your colleagues that you worked hard to develop this. So thank you. So really, my background has been an intersection of business, law, and education, but specifically the research and work I did around locus of control being the theory of where do you believe the results and outcomes of your life reside? Do you believe that they're from your own actions and choices, or are they from external situations and circumstances and chance and luck? And we talk about all of this in the session. But it really takes a look at how do we take more control of our life and how do we thrive? And I share very openly with folks how this applied to me in my own life, with my leadership, my personal life, my health, my wealth, my relationships, and how we can bring this to bear. And I think it's so important, and I want to just share that I think it's great we're doing it after your session, because the first session that you led was about authority to lead. And really the authority to lead is we have to look at ourselves as leaders first before we then can lead others. And that's what is so great about WLA. It's not like most leadership trainings where you get tactics and strategies and you get these platitudes and they all work, right? But this really takes a look at leadership from the inside out, and that's what I'm so excited to do. So my background has really been taking a look at the internal control of the leader, the subconscious mind, understanding the neuroscience about it, and then really distilling it down so that leaders and business owners and entrepreneurs can apply it right away and see change.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to go through that session just as we're doing our beta tests of these different sessions, and it was really interesting to see how our past, if we don't get control of it, can end up shaping our future in some positive and some not so positive ways. So I love the journey that you have been on with this, as well as how you are structuring your presentation to help people uncover some of those hidden areas and use them as fuel for change. Yeah. As you have presented this material before, what have you seen and heard from different leaders that you have talked to after going through this session?
Sure. Well, even in the session we did with our leaders, and I'm very proud of that, like we wanted to make sure that before we would put this out there to the community and to the organization and to others, that we as leaders went through it first, because that's part of authority to lead. But even in our session, we had laughter, we had tears, we had people really having emotional realizations like, wow, I understand better myself and others, and I can't wait to bring this to bear. So we've really seen a personal transformation from the inside out. And that's what I think is missing in a lot of leadership trainings. There's so much focus on the actual tactics and the transaction of leadership and not enough on the journey to the center of yourself and back again. And you bring up a great point. We are who we are, not because of what happened to us. It's the way we think about what happened to us. It's a decision. It's a choice. And so as leaders, when we can become aware of that, we break through from those cycles. If you're feeling stuck, if you feel like, oh, I'm just repeating these same patterns, I'm having the same argument with the person over and over again, I'm having the same struggles, we can help. And WLA really says, let's get in, let's work with the most powerful part of the brain, the subconscious mind, so that we can get real change and we can help you move forward. You can crush your goals, you can set high ambitious ones for your organization, you can lead teams, you can feel more focused, you can feel more clarity, and basically you feel more in control of your life. Because whether we know it or not, we are in a lot of control over how we think, how we feel, how we operate, everything. We just don't always understand how to get in and actually operate that mechanism.
I love what you are talking about, the subconscious mind, and how you talk about it's the most powerful part of your brain. Unwinding different thought patterns and reprogramming your brain to think positively is such a vital trait for leaders to have, but not just leaders, but anybody who is experiencing life, right? As an instructor, I interact with students all the time. And one of the disciplines that we work through is computer programming, which is one of those things that's very hard for people generally to learn. And this is what we talk about before we even get started is your mindset is just such a vital component to being successful in there. So,
well, I'm glad you brought that up with computers, because many times people don't always like the comparison to humans to computers. And I get that, right? I mean, it's true enough to be true to an extent. But imagine if you had a computer or an iPod. Remember the days of the iPod? Yeah. And you never went in and refreshed or updated the program. So you buy it, you leave it be. It's just like apps on your iPhone that don't get refreshed. And then you wonder, why are there glitches? Why do I keep getting stuck? Why do I get the non-responsiveness, or the app shuts down, right? And it doesn't go forward. It is the same thing with us. If we never go in and refresh the belief systems, the decisions that many times when we're younger we make because we don't have any more information at the time. A lot of other belief systems we have, they're not even ours. They came from somebody else. They just got installed in us like a computer program. And we can go in and decide, what do we want today by our standards, our definitions, to get real change. And even as I say this, I can almost feel in the audience, like in this quantum sort of energy loop, folks saying, yeah, I know you're right, but it's so hard to let go of those. I hear you. I know. I've lived it. In fact, the book I wrote, Locus, my very first book, well, actually, Thrive Journal, we'll talk about that, was the first book, but Locus goes through the science of it. I said, I wish this is the book somebody gave to me when I was younger, because I was repeating the same patterns over and over and over and over again. And it wasn't because I didn't know better. It was because I was stuck in a repeat loop, because the subconscious mind was saying, this is what we know. This is the meaning we've attached to it. It's familiar here. So this will challenge folks. What I love about our session, Take Control and Thrive, is that it's going to challenge belief systems in a good way, in a safe space, in a way that others can sit there and support and offer affirmation. And I'm there with folks. I'll share my own experiences. But really, it's going to be a moment of change, of deep change, because as leaders, if we can't do this work, we're never going to be able to lead teams and organizations forward. We will get stuck, just like the iPod, just like a computer program, in a repeat loop if we never change.
And us going first as leaders is just vital to seeing that transformation and change in terms of, especially of trying to keep it safe for people to say, listen, I already went through this. I promise you that it's okay. And that coming out of this, you're going to feel a lot better about maybe some of the past things that you've had, and more importantly, how you feel about where you're headed as a leader. So you mentioned the Thrive Journal. How does the Thrive Journal that you wrote tie into our session? Sure.
So part of what I love about what we're doing in this session, and what we do, even at Walsh College, it's a very applied program, very applied education, is, it's one thing to say, okay, I've learned all this, I understand, and, people will come through our session and they'll say, I now understand how the brain works, I know why I've been doing this, I want to change, I know what's going on with others. It gives you an incredible heart for other people. Right? Because I know I can get a little bit frustrated sometimes when I'm not seeing folks perform, or when I'm not seeing change. And I have to remind myself, Susie, you too did this, and here's how we can help them. Or how do I adjust my behavior? That's the other thing that this will teach you, is how to adjust yourself so that you're not always projecting the issues on others, okay? Yeah. And that was a big moment. Ooh, I'm sorry. I love our studio, but I'm such a mover and shaker. I keep knocking things around. So this is fun. This is why I love the live element of this. But I'll talk about the Thrive Journal. So one of the things I did when I was doing the research around locus of control is I wanted to say, okay, if we know this is how locus of control is, if we know that the subconscious mind is driving the bus, so to speak, how do we go in and make change? What are the propulsion systems of the subconscious mind? How do we actually learn in that layer? Because I liken it to a compass and a magnet. So the magnet is the subconscious mind. The compass is the conscious brain, the goals, the ambitions, the things you want to do. The magnet mind is the one that's in charge. So if that conflicts with the goals, what happens when you put a compass and a magnet together? It disrupts the compass.
Right.
Yeah. So how do we get in and make change? And THRIVE is an acronym for timing, handwriting, repetition, imagination, visualization, and emotion. Those are the 6 propulsion systems of the subconscious mind. And the Locus book walks you through all the science behind it. A lot of folks say, I don't need to know all that, just tell me what I need to do to get change. So when we did the research in Locus, we put the Thrive framework together. We did a focus group over 3 weeks of 17 people. They saw incredible change when it came to their locus of control orientation. We used a established measurement for that, Patricia Duttweiler's internal locus of control measurement. And then we saw some amazing qualitative feedback. So I'm always careful to say I can't guarantee that any one result will be yours, yet I can tell you that if you apply these principles, if you do the Thrive framework, and we walk through, and everybody that comes to the WLA session, you will get a Thrive journal. We'll walk through this. You'll be able to take this with you. It tells you what to do. But if you would do this, you can't not see change, because this is how the mechanism works. This is how it gets in. So it was really important to me that we didn't just give a bunch of knowledge and information and say, here's what's going on. We also gave folks a roadmap, a guide, a journal that they could apply right away to see change. And here's what's cool about Thrive. Because we're combining all 6 propulsion systems of the subconscious brain, it's like a supercharge. It's like when you go to the doctor and you're sick and they give you an antibiotic, but they give you that shot there to kind of get it going. That's what this does, because I know that business leaders, entrepreneurs, we're impatient. We want to see results, and we don't continue unless we do.
Right. Yeah. The time factor is always working against us, it would seem. So the session is coming up. What day and how do people get signed up?
It is Thursday, March 7th. And if you go to our website, walshcollege.edu/WLA. WLA stands for Walsh Leadership Academy. So walshcollege.edu/WLA. Go ahead, fill that out, send it in. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can send me a LinkedIn. I've had some great people reach out on LinkedIn, ask about the sessions, and they've gotten enrolled that way. So we're happy to help you. But I would tell you this, like if you're listening to this and you're thinking, you know what, this couldn't have come to me at a better time. We're now almost 3 months into the new year. I've made New Year's resolutions. I haven't kept them. I'm starting to get frustrated. I'm not moving as fast as I want. I need something in my life to really give me community, connection, and change. This is for you. It is so important you don't let this go by, because I've talked to so many people that said, you know, I had the doubt. I wasn't sure. I'm so glad I jumped in, because now you can start the next quarter of the year in such a better place. So go to the website, walshcollege.edu/WLA. Sign up for the March 7th session. I will be there. I will see you there. You'll get a free copy of the Thrive Journal. It's going to change your life.
Awesome. Well, before I let you go, there's just one last announcement that we are thrilled to share with our community. So why don't you share that announcement?
Oh, gosh. Okay. So here's what's really cool. When we designed WLA, it just shows you how the universe aligns to really amplify success and amplify what's good in the world. So when we designed WLA, we knew it was going to pour into leaders, to human beings, to help lead teams, to help grow organizations. And we are so proud to say that all of our WLA sessions, so we have 6 right now that we're starting with, and we're going to build out more, are qualified for SHRM, Society of Human Resource Management, continuing education credits. So if you're an HR professional and you're like, this is great, I need to get my CE credits, I want to do WLA, you can now take advantage of this. It optimizes your time. It is literally like the universe saying, this is for you. So I'm very proud to share that you can get your SHRM-CEs by enrolling in WLA.
Yeah, that's a very exciting development for all of us. So, and another way for people to multiply their time.
Exactly. Yeah, because time is money and it's very valuable. And it's also a great way to say that this is going to help you lead your team. So even if it wasn't the CE credits, I still would encourage you to do it. And I'm sure I'm certified, so I would do it again and again. But it's nice now to know, wow, we can actually see the need for this in continuing education. So I think it's so important.
Yes. So thank you very much, Susie, for coming in and talking about your next session. And again, if you are interested in joining that session, please go to walshcollege.edu/WLA and go get signed up.